The first and best victory is to conquer self. Welcome to the Conqueror Approach, a journey of self-mastery. To cultivate our mind, body, spirit, financial literacy, and allow our light to shine upon the world. Brought to you by me, your host, U.S. Navy submarine veteran and entrepreneur, Musa Mikkel. Let's conquer. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciation and gratitude. Let's jump into it because we're going to talk about quality relationships and how to cultivate quality relationships. Where does our focus have to be to have great relationships? Because life is just about relationships. At the end of the day, we're going to remember those moments, those relationships that meant the most to us, not necessarily all the minutia that goes on every single day of our lives. So how can we put this focus on building quality relationships? Jack Canfield said something that I think is just perfectly said. He said, make a conscious effort to surround yourself with positive, nourishing, uplifting people who believe in you and encourage you to go after your dreams and applaud your victories, right? And I think he had it on point on that one, because we need to surround ourselves with people who encourage us to go forward, encourage us to go after our dreams and applaud our victories, and are there for us when things don't really turn out our way. They're not there just to agree with you on everything, but they're there to challenge you to be better, to uplift you, to be positive around you. And there's going to be people that don't do that. And some of the time, or most of the time, we spend a lot of time with the people who actually do the opposite of encourage us and uplift us and be positive and nourishing people, right? And sometimes our family and our closest relationships are the ones that try to bring us down, even though they might not even think of it that way. Because a lot of times it's coming from a place of love, but they're just afraid. So they impose their fear onto you and inhibit you from doing what you want to do, or going after your dreams, or going after your whatever you want to accomplish. They might impose their fear onto you, so you don't do that because they're afraid. They love you. They don't want you to get hurt. They don't want you to fail. But failure is necessary. So how can we cultivate relationships that help us move in the direction of our destiny? And I think it really comes down to, like almost everything on this journey, comes down to our awareness of who we spend the most time with. Sometimes we don't really think about how much time we're spending with a certain person, or how much time you're not spending with the people that you vibrate at a higher level with, that help you grow, that help you learn, that you just put you in a state where you want to do better, be better, and move forward, wherever you're going. And then you have to think about what traits that you desire most. What traits do you desire most for yourself? So if you want to be more confident, more bold, for me, I want to write better, I want to speak better, I want to, connect with very conscious people. I want to be more conscious myself, more self-aware. I want to be more fit. I want to be healthier. I want to do all these things. You have to be around people that embody that. And you have to seek them, right? Seek and you'll find. You have to find people that have those traits. And they might not have everything. But if you're around really fit people, there's a chance you're not going to be eating McDonald's all the time, or In-N-Out. There's a chance you might be doing more active things. You might be working out more. You might be hiking. You might be walking. You might be doing outdoors things. You might play recreational sports. Whatever the case is, if you're always around active people, you're going to be more active. So seek people that embody the traits that you desire most for yourself. Dr. Dennis Kimbrell once said, you earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. And if you're the smartest in your group, you need to find a new group. And I think that's pretty accurate. Most of the time we spend time with people who are in the same job, same field, doing the same thing, we're going to earn about the same. You don't want to be the smartest person in your group because you want to be around people that inspire you. And then people might be smarter in certain areas, right? That's a whole different conversation. But in general, I think he had a really good point there. We've heard you are the average of the people you spend the most time with. There's science behind that. It's not just a cool saying, oh, you're going to just become like everyone you spend time with. There's actual, the brain operates a certain way because we are social creatures. We are communal species. We need people, and we start adapting to our tribe and the people that we spend time with. Right? That's how the brain operates. We are a tribe species. There's a process called motor mimicry. And it pretty much means we subconsciously mimic other people's behaviors. And you probably notice if you've seen someone, for guys, if you've seen someone get hit in the nuts, and then you like, ooh, that hurt, and then you like tuck yourself and close your legs, like that is motor mimicry. You didn't really think about it, but your brain sees it and mimics it in the brain to see if it's a threat or not, to see if you need to do any fight and running or whatever, right? Fight or flee. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. And there's another process called emotional contagion, and this is something you already realize, but this is the scientific term for it. Emotional contagion. Your emotions are contagious. That's all it's saying. Your energy is contagious. If you're around a bunch of pissed off people, your vibration is going to lower because they're emitting that frequency. Right? We transfer our emotional vibe to the people we are around, whether it's positive or negative. So notice what emotional vibration people are transferring to you. You want to be around people who emit a higher frequency, a higher vibration. This is why the saying's right, good vibes only. This is real. There are vibrations that we give off. And even some medical equipment can record and see exactly what frequency your body is emitting. Right? There's brain wave activity machines that they don't even touch your head. They are around your head and they can sense the brain activity because it is emitting energy and frequency without touching your head. So that happens for our whole body, right? So notice that. Notice who you're spending time with because you are on this journey to keep growing, to keep progressing. And sometimes we get stuck around people who don't have that mindset. You can even have a fixed mindset where everything is done. There's no growth to be had because you have decided that you know everything and that this is it. Or you can have a growth mindset to say there's more. I can always learn more. I can always be better. I can always communicate better. I can always surround myself with better people. I can always encourage more people, right? And sometimes you're that person that has to encourage and uplift people. It's not just everyone. I'm just going to go to everyone and be, needy and ask for all these things. You need to have other people. You need to have support, but you also need to support them because that is how a community grows. It's not by one individual, but by the whole. That's what synergy is. That's what interdependence is. And even when it comes to the smaller habits, we usually eat and drink and watch the same things and have the same hobbies as our closest friends. And that's okay, right? But take notice, are these habits destructive or constructive? Do we go out for drinks every other night and it's just draining my bank account and not doing anything for my physical body? Or are we going out for hikes every week or whatever the case is? Notice, and you can always shift that. Just because you've been doing something for a long time doesn't mean you have to accept that as your fate forever. You have the power to choose. You have the choice. You have the choice to choose who you take this journey of life with. Who do you surround yourself with? And who do you want to level up with? Notice it. And if we're talking about money, if you want monetary wealth, you have to look at what you deem monetary wealth is first, and then who and what they're doing and the habits that they possess to become that way. And start surrounding yourself with that kind of people. If you want to be David Goggins and run 20 miles a day, first you have to know exactly how he does it, how many miles he runs, whatever, 20 plus miles a day just because he likes doing that. And are you willing to do that as well? Because a lot of it is, yes, we'd love to be around certain people. We'd love to do certain things, but we're not willing to do the work. We're not willing to be around those people. We're not willing to run the 20 miles a day so I can run like David Goggins or whatever the case is. If you want to develop a great business, what are the things successful people are doing in that industry? Start noticing what they're doing and start seeking them out so you can spend more time and actually see it firsthand. You want to be around those people. If you spend a lot of time around successful people in your industry, you're going to start thinking like them. You're going to start acting like them or similar habits, right? You lose your uniqueness, but there's certain things you can model because success, there's a science to it, especially in certain industries. You do certain things, you're going to get a certain result. And if you don't do anything, you're going to get no result. Right? And the most important thing when it comes to modeling, in my opinion, is just accepting and learning. Accept that you don't know everything. And when you're willing to learn and when you're willing to be helped, you open the door for people, your friends and family and coworkers and partners, to help you. You open that door that you're vulnerable enough so they can have the opportunity to give you feedback. And that is a key point, because you can hang around great people, but if you just think they're lucky and you got it figured out, or they're stupid, and you just close yourself off to receiving any feedback, you're not going to get anything out of those relationships. You have to be open to receive feedback. That's major key in developing great relationships and having those types of dialogues. When someone, they feel comfortable enough that they could tell you something and you're not going to react in a crazy way. They could tell you, dude, that's stupid. Like, you shouldn't do that, whatever. And you're just like, okay, like I could see, and try to understand, right? Don't just get defensive. Don't get triggered, but seek first to understand before you try to seek to be understood. One of the most important things I feel is having these quality relationships and conversations on a daily basis. And it starts with your relationship with yourself, because you can only show up for someone else the way you show up for yourself. So if you want to encourage people and you want to be a positive source of energy to someone's life and help them improve their situation, you have to be able and willing to be positive and encourage yourself. Sometimes we want to do it for everyone else first, but we can't do it for ourselves. It starts with our relationship with ourselves. If you don't love yourself, you can never love anyone else. If you don't believe in yourself, you can't believe in anybody else to cultivate a quality relationship. If you don't trust yourself, you can't go on and trust other people. And trust is important. It is the most important thing in relationships. You can't have a quality relationship if there's no trust. And a lot of times we let our lack of self-trust bleed into every relationship we have. So it starts with ourselves. It starts with our relationship with life, God, nature, romantic partners, and friends. Like, these relationships are what fulfill us at the end of the day. All the other stuff is great, cool, money, great, cars, great, house, cool. whatnot. But if the relationships aren't there, all of that is just objects, material. But the relationships can last forever. And I'm blessed to have great relationships from people I've met years ago, and we still have a strong bond. Even if we don't talk on a daily basis, it's like we don't skip a beat. There's always going to be people I can go to when I need to talk, or when I need to bounce ideas, or I need support, or if I just want to be around positive energy. Like, this is the most important part. And I know I said a lot of things are the most important part, but relationships in general are crucial to our happiness and our fulfillment. We can accomplish anything we want, but if we have crap relationships, it won't mean anything. And I've seen some of the biggest regrets of people's lives come from not developing, maintaining these great relationships, or even cutting out the relationships that no longer serve them. Cutting out the relationships that no longer take you to your destiny or slow you down from reaching your purpose. That is necessary too. And the goal I always try to focus on when it comes to this is just, how do I need to be to cultivate a quality relationship? How do I need to show up in somebody's life that they can feel comfortable, that they can trust, that they can have the vulnerability, that they can be open to feedback? How do I need to be? And when you have great relationships and strong relationships, everything else falls in place. Because at the end of the day, we're community. We are a communal species. We need support. We need each other. We need love. We need connection. And that is going to give us the greatest satisfaction and happiness. And before I end this all, there's a great book that I read that just helped me understand the importance of having great relationships and seeking great relationships. Because sometimes you don't wake up in a great relationship. You have to seek it. You have to put effort. That book is Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi. Great book. Great tips, great advice on just networking and developing great relationships. With that, thank you for tuning in. With love and gratitude, I'm out. That is all for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you found any value in this episode, someone you know will also. Please share, subscribe, leave a rating and review so we can reach more people, have a farther ripple and a larger impact. Stay grateful. I appreciate you. And remember, you are a conqueror.